It is so easy to think that it feels impossible, that you're never going to sleep good again, and then you just say F it and go back to drinking. Welcome to the Shannon McCabe Show, where we break free from our drink-obsessed culture, challenge the myths around alcohol, and redefine sobriety as the empowering choice it truly is. I'm Shannon McCabe, sober coach, holistic nutritionist, and your guide to a life that feels better without booze. Whether you're newly sober, sober curious, or years into this journey, this podcast is here to give you the truth about alcohol, the tools to build lasting confidence, and the hope that a vibrant, fulfilling life is waiting for you on the other side. So grab your coffee or sparkling water and let's dive in. Hey you guys, welcome back to this week's episode of the Shannon McCabe Show. As always, I want to thank you guys for hanging out here with me. I love the messages and the DMs I get from you guys daily, almost daily now, over on Instagram. Just different stories about how the podcast is helping you, landing for you, resonating with you, tugging at your heart as you're either newly sober and maybe feeling a little alone, a little lost, and this helps you feel not so alone. And those of you that are just kind of still wrestling with your relationship with alcohol, still struggling, I feel that. I was you guys 3 years ago. I'm coming up on my 3-year sober anniversary, which is just wild to me. So I've been reflecting a lot on what my life felt like 3 years ago when I was getting ready to join a group program because I had tried to quit drinking on my own so many times and just, it never worked. It never worked. Trying to do this alone, this being change your relationship with alcohol, you guys, it makes it nearly impossible. It makes it a million times harder than it needs to be. So I hope that this podcast is supporting you. I hope that it's helping you know that you're not alone, know that you're not broken, know that there's nothing wrong with you. If you are struggling with alcohol and trying to quit, or if you've recently quit and you're still just trying to figure out how to heal your body, how to heal your mind, how do you do life? How do you show up in this crazy world without alcohol? There's nothing wrong with needing people around you that get it. And needing to be able to talk to people that understand what you're going through, that have similar goals and ideals, right? And want to start to experience life the same way that you do. So just all that to say, thank you guys so much for hanging out here with me every week, sending me notes and letting me know how the podcast is landing for you, how it's helping you. And then those of you that have taken the time to leave a rating, to leave a review, that means so much to me because it helps all of these podcast platforms know that this show is helping people. And so it's going to help other people that need to hear these conversations find the podcast. So if you haven't done that yet and you're willing to take 30 seconds to leave stars, rate it 4 or 5 stars, leave a little review, that just, it helps me. It helps all of us that are just on the sober journey together. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today, you guys, is again, one of the most common questions I get asked, one of the most common things that people talk about when they have recently quit drinking or when they're stuck in the loop of trying to quit and can't figure it out. Because we get tripped up on the topic of sleep so much. If you do not know what to expect when you quit drinking, if you don't understand what alcohol has done to your brain and has done to your body, and if you don't know how you can help the healing process, how you can actually speed up the healing process, how you can support yourself through this time, it is so easy to think that it feels impossible, that you're never going to sleep good again, and then you just say F it and go back to drinking, okay? That's what we're going to dive into here today. I'm so pumped about this topic because once you understand what's happening, and then once you know that you have so many solutions at your fingertips, it's a game changer, okay? So today, that's it. We're diving into why are you so tired when you quit drinking and what can you do about it, okay? Because this is typically what happens. This is how this conversation goes. I have this conversation almost daily inside my coaching groups with my private clients. The people that come to me are like, I don't understand. Like, I gave up drinking. I'm doing the good thing, right? I'm doing what's right. I'm doing what I should be. But I am exhausted. My sleep is not better yet. Like, you're telling me, meaning you, because they look at me and they're like, you're telling me how bad alcohol was for my sleep, right? How it was wrecking my sleep. not actually even helping me fall asleep faster at night. It was sedating me. It's just different stages of passing out. So I quit drinking, but now I'm so tired. I'm still not sleeping good at night. So what's going on? Because it's really easy to think that when we just quit drinking, that should be it. Like, yay, congratulations, you did it. And so you should feel amazing right away, right? But instead, what might be happening is your energy is just dragging and your sleep is all over the place. Like maybe you've noticed it's improving a little bit, but also you're still waking up at night. And what's up with that? So today we're going to just dive in. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to explain to you what alcohol has done to your brain and body, why good sleep doesn't just show up on day one when we quit drinking, but what you can do to help your body heal faster, help your brain heal faster, help the good sober sleep really kick in for you and hopefully kick in soon, okay? So a little bit of science here, you guys, because we've got to understand what alcohol has done to us so that we can fully appreciate the work that our brain and our body are doing to try to heal and bounce back and recover that, okay? So when we drink alcohol, when we drink to sleep, and when we just drink in general, okay? So you guys, what happens here? When we drink alcohol, it is eventually broken down by our liver. One of the molecules that is a result of this breaking down process is called acetate. So what happens is most of the acetate that is produced is released back into circulation, right? Our liver is metabolizing alcohol. Acetate is produced. It gets pushed back into circulation, okay? So it's circulating all throughout our body. A lot of it is really quickly able to enter our brain. And what happens then is our brain actually can use acetate as an energy source instead of glucose, which is why often a lot of us learned and maybe started to use this to our advantage that we kind of feel a rush of energy, a surge of energy. We get energized when we first start drinking. I don't know about you guys, but I noticed that actually became kind of a major part of my drinking in the last couple of years because I would be working from home, stay-at-home mom, homeschool mom, work from home mom. So by the time 4 o'clock would hit, I'm like mentally exhausted from a full work day, a full school day. But now I still have to transition to the evening time mom mode, right? I've got to get the kitchen cleaned up. I've got to make dinner, try to be happy and cheery when my husband got home from work. And so I quickly developed the habit of drinking every day starting at 4 p.m. because that first couple of glasses of wine would energize me. It would give me the physical and mental energy I needed to get through the rest of my evening. Like brilliant, right? I'm like, how brilliant. And at the time I didn't know all of the other side effects that came with this. I was just like, no, I drink wine. I'm relaxed, but also have more energy. And now I can do the millions of other things that I need to do. Okay. Because this is part of what happens when we drink and our body immediately begins metabolizing that alcohol because it is a poison. It's a toxic chemical from the chemical standpoint of our body. So we do begin breaking it down immediately. That acetate that's released into circulation can enter our brain. Our brain can use it as fuel. So rather than using glucose, which is what our brain usually uses for energy, it starts using acetate. And it does this because acetate and the other byproducts from this breaking down of alcohol are so toxic, our body needs to get rid of it. So rather than let this acetate just continue circulating around our brain and body, our brain uses it for fuel because then it's used up and it's gone, okay? So what happens then? Your brain is saying, okay, nope, I'm going to hold on to that glucose. We're going to put a pin in that and not use it. We're going to use this acetate because this acetate is here. What happens then when we quit drinking and that acetate source is gone, your brain is left scrambling, literally. Now your brain has to relearn how to use glucose as its energy source. This is a process. And in the meantime, it creates part of the withdrawal process that we go to or that we go through and that we feel in a lot of different ways, right? This is the sluggish physical energy. This is the brain fog. This is like the lack of concentration, lack of motivation. All of those things are happening because your brain is like, well, what the hell is going on? I've been getting this steady supply of acetate for weeks or months or years or even decades, and now it's not there anymore. Now I've got to relearn how to use glucose for energy. So the second part of this, what has also happened is that as that acetate is being used and it goes through its own chemical process, what actually is happening, part of that acetate is converted into adenosine. It's another chemical that becomes part of this whole process. And what adenosine does is calms us down and helps us sleep. So that's why when we drink, we get that initial surge of energy, right? We get we feel energized. We feel like quicker, we're wittier, we're funnier, we can handle and do all the things. But then pretty soon we start to feel more mellow, right? It calms us, it relaxes us. That's the adenosine kicking in. That is what actually calms us down and promotes sleep, which then eventually spills into, passing out, blacking out, whatever. Hey friends, I wanted to take this quick break to let you know the sober sleep solution is here. If you are tired of lying awake at night or waking up groggy, even though you've quit drinking, this is the guide for you. Inside, I'll give you the exact steps and tools that you need to rebuild your sleep and sobriety, complete with checklists and trackers to make it simple. Grab this digital download and sleep better tonight. The link is in the show notes. Now, back to the episode. So what happens is when we quit drinking, and we have that lack of acetate all of a sudden. So our brain is already scrambling, trying to remember how to use glucose. We also now have that lack of adenosine. It's not around anymore. So our brain also is not using that to help us calm down and relax. So once again, our brain is relearning how to use and make natural neurotransmitters that do this for us, things like serotonin and melatonin. Your brain knows how to do this, but it's been out of practice basically because we've been feeding it alcohol. It has found a way to use alcohol to serve these needs of energizing us and relaxing us because it's got to use alcohol and its byproducts to use them up and get them out of our system as much as possible. We can't just have alcohol and those byproducts floating around, or it's going to cause even more damage than it does anyways, even during this process. But so now what we've done is we've created this system, this process in our brain where it was using the acetate, it was using the adenosine to give us energy, to calm us down. And now we've completely taken that away. Our brain has got to go back and relearn. And yes, it knows how to do this, but there is damage left in the wake of this alcohol. It can't just flip a switch and be like, okay, alcohol's gone, acetate's gone, adenosine is gone. We're just going to go right back to using glucose, producing serotonin, melatonin, and boom, you're going to feel as fantastic as you did years, decades ago before you ever quit drinking. It just doesn't work that way. The body needs time to heal. Our brain needs time to heal. So this process, everything I just described is what's going on. And during this time is when we can feel really, really exhausted. Our sleep can still be broken. We can still be waking up at night. We can be sleeping, but still waking up feeling exhausted and groggy and dealing with things like brain fog and poor concentration, low motivation, stuff like that. Even our anxiety, all of this stuff might actually feel a little bit worse before it gets better. It might peak before it starts to stabilize because your brain spends a little time almost in a holding pattern, just waiting to see okay, well, but wait, we've done this before, right? We've maybe taken breaks. We've quit for a couple days or even a couple weeks or even a month. So maybe the alcohol is going to come back. We're going to go back into that cycle. And so when you don't, we've got to be patient with this relearning and this healing process that your body is doing, okay? This discomfort, this time when all of this healing is going on, this is when so many of us just say, F it. I'm going to drink again because this sucks. This doesn't feel good. Why did I quit drinking if I still don't feel great? But you guys, what you've got to understand, what you've got to remember and really, really just take to heart is that when you just, push the F it button and start drinking again, all you're doing is delaying the inevitable. You're going to have to go through the cycle all over again whenever you do quit, because who knows what's going to happen, right? If you keep drinking, sooner or later, there is going to be something that is a good enough reason or a bad enough situation for you to drink. So every time you hit the F it button, you're just guaranteeing that this is going to start all over again. So what we can do instead by talking about it, by having these conversations, by helping you understand what is going on and what you can do about it, you're gaining not just that understanding, but you're also gaining patience for what you've put your brain and body through, and patience for what you need to go through now to give it the time and the space and the resources to heal, okay? Because when we quit drinking, our body has to readjust. It has to find balance again. That process in and of itself is tiring because our body is working really, really hard. Think about everything you know about healing from anything, emotional healing or physical healing, when you're sick, when you have an injury, when you have a disease or something like that. Healing is hard work. It's exhausting. You need to be patient with your body and have an appreciation for what it's going through, okay? So this fatigue that we're talking about, this exhaustion, this like, okay, I quit drinking, but I'm still not sleeping great and I'm tired. What is going on, you guys? This actually does have a name. It's called sobriety fatigue. And it is one of the main reasons that women, I mean, all people, but women go back to drinking. Because this exhaustion feels endless, right? And we're like, but why did I quit drinking then? Why did I quit drinking if I'm still tired? And why did I quit drinking? When does the good stuff come? If I'm still having difficulty sleeping, if I'm feeling lethargic, if I have mood swings, my sugar cravings are out of control, I'm having trouble concentrating, I'm still not motivated. I feel blah. You guys, all of that is familiar to any of us that have been through this process of quitting drinking. And it's so important to know that it's not because we're doing anything wrong. And it's not because this journey isn't worth it. It's because this is sobriety fatigue. And this is, unfortunately, what your brain has to deal with because of our drinking. Your brain and your body are asking for time, and they're asking for patience, and they're asking for the right support. There are things that we can do to support this process, to speed it up, to minimize the discomfort. We've got to remember that this is only temporary, okay? Because our brain can reset. Our body can find balance again. And then on the other side of it, when we get on the other side of the sobriety fatigue, you guys, seriously, it is like energy that you likely haven't felt in years. It's deeper sleep than you've probably had in years. And it's morning, and it's mornings that feel better than they have in years. And it's mental clarity, and it's physical energy, and it's so much good stuff. But we've got to give our brain and body time and support to get to that, okay? So how do we do that? How do we do this, you guys? How do we help our brain reset? How do we help our body rebalance after everything we've put it through? How do we restore really deep rest in our lives? Now that we've got alcohol out of the way, we've done that first big, really good thing. Now we can do more little things to shore it up and really, really help it stick, okay? So we do this by focusing on things like our circadian rhythm, what we eat, and also what we don't eat. There are things we can eat and things we can avoid that are going to help our brain be able to heal and work better, work more efficiently to create the things we need like serotonin and melatonin. We do this by creating specific routines around bedtime and actually routines all throughout the day that help our brain focus better during the day and know when to calm down and sleep at night. When we do all of these things, that's when really kind of before we know it, you find yourself in a place of being like, oh my gosh, I have not slept this good in years. And you guys, that might sound like a pipe dream if it hasn't happened yet, but I see this all the time. I see this daily, weekly with my clients. When they understand what their brain has gone through, understand what it's going through right now, and then do the work to really support the healing process, focus on the things we just talked about, right? Learn about the circadian rhythm and understand how little but really impactful choices you make every single day can actually support the natural sleep cycle your body wants to go through. Look at what you're eating and what you're not eating and making sure that it's supporting your brain. Look at your daily habits, little tweaks, things that you can change so that when it's daytime and it's time to be awake, you're awake. And then when it's nighttime and it's time to calm down and sleep, you are actually priming your body and your brain to get really, really good, deep, restorative sleep. So when we're talking about this, how we do this stuff, right? You guys, everything I just said, we're wanting to repair our circadian rhythm. We're paying attention to what we eat, what we don't eat, what we do during the day. Like there are so many things that we can kind of pick and choose from to make a part of our day and make a part of our evening that are going to set us up for really amazing sleep quickly, you guys. I see this work with women, honestly, in like week 2 or 3 after they quit drinking, sometimes within the first week. We're all different. It's a little bit different for everybody, but when you understand everything that's at play here, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to pick that, I'm going to pick this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then suddenly, in just a couple nights, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe how much better I'm sleeping. You guys, if that is what you need in your life, then you're going to want to check out the Sober Sleep Solution, okay? This is a step-by-step guide that I've created that goes deep into everything I just said. How you can restore really deep rest into your life, how you can cultivate more calm, how you can cultivate and create the right routines and the right habits so that you get good restorative sleep on a regular basis. Stage of life, you guys. The Sober Sleep Solution can help you if you still have kids at home that wake you up at night. If you are like me, perimenopausal, menopausal, these are tools and solutions that can meet you wherever you're at and are going to help you really tap into the deep restorative rest that is like the holy grail of what we all hope for when we quit drinking, right? So if you are ready to really finally feel rested again and to be like, oh my God, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I wanted, to feel like I am sleeping like a baby again. Even if I get up at night with the kids, even if I'm late in life and I'm dealing with perimenopause or menopause, the Sober Sleep Solution has real life habits that you can start today. As soon as you download it, you can get started. It comes complete with checklists and worksheets and trackers and a lot of easy to understand information that is going to take you from where you are right now with broken sleep and low energy to the promised land of being like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. You guys can grab the Sober Sleep Solution right now. It's linked in the show notes. If you have been telling yourself, I just need a good night's sleep. I need this to all come together. I need energy. I need to just feel like I quit drinking for a reason. I'm sleeping and feel like a normal human. Then I promise you guys, this is going to give you the tools and the hope and the solutions that you've been looking for. Oh, thanks for hanging with me this week, you guys. I'd love to hear how this conversation landed for you. Head over to Instagram and leave me a DM. And I will be back next week with another episode of the Shannon McCabe Show. That's it for today's episode. If this conversation resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new episode. And if you're loving the show, I'd be so grateful if you'd leave a quick review. It helps others find this message and start their own journey to freedom. Until next time, keep choosing yourself, keep believing in what's possible, and remember, you are so much stronger than you think.